brothers and sisters in Islam, I begin with a hadith. And this was narrated by Talha ibn Ubaidillah radiyallahu anhu. And I share this hadith so that we can really understand what does it mean that Allah Azza wa Jal grants us another opportunity for another Ramadan in our life. Talha ibn Ubaidillah radiyallahu anhu narrated, he said, أن رجلان من بلي قدما على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وكان إسلامهما جميعا. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said that there were two men that came to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam in Al-Madinah. They were from a town known as Bali, it's close to Al-Madinah. And they accepted Islam together at the same time. One of them had more effort in deen as opposed to his friend. So what happened is that he joined one of the battles of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and eventually he was martyred. And his friend that accepted Islam at the same time died a year later, 1 year after Shaheed, 1 year after his friend, a natural normal death on his bed. So Talha ibn Ubaidillah radiyallahu anhu, one night he sees a dream. He sees that him and those two that have accepted Islam were standing outside the gate of the paradise. And it was opened and an angel came outside and he welcomed the one who died a year later to enter the paradise first. He invited him to enter first. So he entered first. Then the angel invited the one that died as a shaheed to enter second. Then he came out, the angel, and he said to Talha ibn Ubaidillah, your time is not up, go back. And he woke up from his dream. And he was confused and he narrated this dream unto the people in Al-Madinah. Until the news reached the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Talha ibn Ubaidillah radiyallahu anhu went to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and there was in the presence of the Messenger many companions. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, this is what I saw. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw the state of the companions and that they were amazed and shocked. What are they amazed and shocked at? How can this person who died a natural death at his bed enter the paradise first before a shaheed? When we all know the virtue of a shahada in Islam. How can this person enter the paradise first? And yes, there is a big deal. You see, both of them did enter the paradise, but there is a big deal as to who enters first and second and third. Even today in school and in carnivals and in sport, the first one is always given a unique prize and a gift, then second, third and fourth. So there's something special about the first. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, وَمِنْ أَيِّ ذَلِكَ تَعْجَبُونَ? What are you people surprised about? What are you amazed of? Then he said to them, أَوَلَيْسَ قَدْ أوليس, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, أوليس قد مكث بعده سنة? Didn't he live 1 year longer than his friend al-Shaheed? They said yes. He said to them, وأدرك رمضان فصام وصلى كذا وكذا? Didn't he also have a chance to witness one extra Ramadan and fast and pray so many rak'at extra? They said yes. So when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, فَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا أَبْعَدُ مَا بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allahu Akbar. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, the distance between both of them is the distance between the heavens and the earth. What gave him that special virtue? Other than the fact that he lived one extra year to witness one Ramadan and take advantage of it. And he prayed a lot more rak'at and a lot more prayers than his friend that had died as a martyr. That there 1 year extra in life, taking advantage of it, worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal in it, was the reason for why he was given preference over a shaheed. And so what this narration and story teaches you and I, that Ramadan is a golden opportunity that Allah Azza wa Jal grants and gives each and every single person that Allah decrees for him to live and witness Ramadan. The question is, are you going to take this opportunity and do the best you can so that it can make a difference between you and others? Or is it another Ramadan just like every other Ramadan, in where you go in and you come out and nothing has changed in your life? This is what we need to discuss. And we also need to discuss how to prepare for this golden opportunity that Allah Azza wa Jal gives us. And in support of this hadith and what it teaches, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us a standard rule. He said, خير الناس من طال عمره وحسن عمله. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, the best of mankind, the best of them are those who live a long life full of righteousness and goodness. So the aim and the point in life is not to reach a long life and die at the end at 80, 90 years old. People, Allah Azza wa Jal has already decreed for them that. But the achievement is what you fill this time with. And so every day is a new opportunity for you to enhance that relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal by doing that which Allah Azza wa Jal is pleased with. And that was the state of all the prophets and the messengers. If you were to look at the case of Musa alayhi salam, when he rushed to Allah Azza wa Jal to the mountain, in order for Allah Azza wa Jal to speak to him and to reveal to him at-Tawrah, the book, Allah Azza wa Jal questions Musa. He says to him, وَمَا أَعْجَلَكَ عَنْ قَوْمِكَ يَا Musa. He says to him, why did you rush, Ya Musa? Why did you come to the mountain really early and you left your people behind? You know what Musa alayhi salam said? Listen to this, pay attention and learn something from it, because it's teaching us something. He says, وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّ لِتَرْضَى. He says, my Lord, I come rushing to you so that I may earn your pleasure. Please understand this. Musa alayhi salam is a prophet of Allah, not a normal prophet from ulil azmi min ar-rusul, from the noble prophets chosen, selected, and they were 5. Allah Azza wa Jal spoke to him. Allah is already pleased with him. Allah already loves him. But you see his attitude? He's rushing to Allah, and the only reason for rushing is litarda, so that you can be pleased with me, so that I may earn your pleasure. But Ya Musa, Allah is already pleased with you. Shouldn't you relax? Kick back a little bit. You've already earned that station with Allah. What are you rushing for? You see, the believer doesn't depend on his righteous actions that he did in the past. That's done, that's sealed, you finish, forget that. Every single moment on earth and every single minute is yet another opportunity to earn Allah Azza wa Jal's pleasure. Every day and every month. And the greatest of them is Ramadan. If this ayah is just teaching you and I that we're supposed to refresh our understanding of the opportunity of life for every minute and second we live, imagine then what attitude we're supposed to have when we know Ramadan is coming. The month that Allah Azza wa Jal has selected from all months. And He blesses us with many things in this month. So وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى. We pray many prayers in our lives. And after this lecture, inshallah, we'll pray Salat al-Isha. You've already prayed Isha yesterday. Does anyone sit and say, I've already prayed it yesterday and the day before and a week after? Don't worry about that. This is yet another opportunity to earn that pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the entire purpose of life. The entire purpose of life is to earn Allah's pleasure. If Allah is pleased with you, that means a forgiveness of your sins and you enter the paradise. You don't have to worry about these things anymore. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said that at the end of Surah Al-Fajr, teaching us what our objective in life is, He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, راضية مرضية يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية. The idea of Allah Azza wa Jal being pleased with your soul, راضية. Then فادخلي عبادي وادخلي جنتي. Jannati at the end. Because if you earned Allah's pleasure, the paradise is guaranteed, no problems. So this is what we learn from the narration. And so there is absolutely no doubt that Ramadan is the opportunity for all of us to increase in our record of good deeds, and that would be the only thing that is valuable to you at the time of your death. Good deeds. Everything else on this worldly life you will not take with you in your grave. The moment you die, everything stays behind. Your wealth and your cars and your businesses and your friends and even your own family. Everyone stays behind. They didn't go with you. They inherited and are taken by others. The only one thing that will accompany you into your grave are your righteous deeds, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. This is more of an encouragement for you and I to look at this month with a serious look and to understand that whatever I do in this month is going to accompany me in my grave, when there will be loneliness and darkness and tightness in that hole. But your righteous deeds will be transformed into a man that smells good and looks good. And he will say that Ana amaluka salih, I am your righteous deeds. And he keeps you company until the hour occurs and you come out of your grave. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. So an opportunity from Allah. You're the one that benefits from your deeds when you do them and you finally move on from this worldly life. And so we have every reason to take advantage of this month. It's such a huge blessing that even the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself would express amazing excitement at the arrival of Ramadan. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he narrates, he says that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and he had a gathering of companions with him, he said to them, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ. He said to the companions, Ramadan has finally arrived, it's coming. Well, the people know Ramadan is coming. What's after Sha'ban other than Ramadan? Why is he telling people Ramadan is coming when that is common sense and everyone knows this knowledge? This implies his excitement. It's like if someone huge and someone everyone looks forward to walks into this masjid, I'll look at him and I'll say, brother has arrived. Well, you can all see him, you know that he has arrived. But the way I express excitement is that I say, Allahu Akbar, our brother has arrived. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is so excited for this opportunity. He says to the companions, Ramadan is coming. Then he said to them, Shahrun Mubarak. He's exciting them. He's giving them information they need. So you and I are in desperate need of this information as well. Because it excites the believer to look forward to this month. He said to them, it is Shahrun Mubarak. It's a blessed month. What does it mean? It can mean two things. Either it means that it is a dua from the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam to his ummah that may Allah bless all for you Ramadan. And it could also mean that it's a blessed month in the sense that there is barakah in this month. And what does barakah mean? Barakah is when something gives more than expected. If I had a plate of food and I said this is food for one person, but two ate from it, that food is barakah. It gave more than expected. And so Ramadan gives more than expected. Because there is within this month a night that is worth 1,000 months plus. So you worship Allah a couple of hours, and added to your record is years and years and years of worship. This is barakah. And the deeds in this month are multiplied. This is all barakah of this month. Then he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, فِيهِ تُفْتَحُ أَبْوَابُ الْجِنَانِ. The gates of the paradise are open in this month. Allahu Akbar, brothers and sisters in Islam. In just a few weeks, 2 weeks, a few days, there's going to happen a huge universal change. Something huge we would have never known about had the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam never told us. The gates of the paradise will be wide open. The ahadith will say, فُتِّحَتْ أَبْوَابُ السَّمَاءِ. Even the doors of the heavens, the doors of the sky will open. And not a single door shuts. All of them open, every gate opens. And this is teaching you and I something. that there is no barrier, there's no gate that is shut between us and Allah Azza wa Jal. It's like there's a connection between the earth and the heavens, between the earth and the paradise. Everything is open. The message is Allah wants you to enter from this door. He wants you and I to enter the paradise. That's the message. When we know that the gates are open, you sit and you say, why do I have to know if the gate is open or not? What difference does that make in my life? It's a message that I want you to enter from this door. The doors are open. Enter whichever one you want. And at the same time, وَتُغْلَقُ فِيهِ أَبْوَابُ الْجَحِيمِ. The gates of the hellfire are shut. All of them are closed. Nothing remains open. What's the message? What's the point? Why do I need to know that the gates of the hellfire are closed? The message is Allah is saying, I don't want you to enter this hellfire. I don't want you to come in from here. I've closed it. So that even if you get to the doors, you see it shut. And you're forced to turn around, make a tawbah and go the other way. The message is, I don't want to punish you. I don't want you to enter this hellfire, not even for a bit. So, where is the heart? Has the heart become awakened by these messages of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam or not? This is what is going to open the hearts. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said all this in a few seconds. And it was enough for the companions to be really eager and active and excited and motivated towards seeing the first day of the month. Now unfortunately today, we need to spend time, go up, go down, come again, deliver the message this way, that way, repeat it, so that we can become awake like a Sahaba and understand that this is no ordinary matter. Ramadan is no ordinary season, it just comes around and goes. According to how you view Ramadan, that's how your attitude will be. If this hadith is not opening up your mind, and you feel like Ramadan is just like another month, then most likely you will not take advantage of it. But if your heart is awakened from the very beginning, and you understand the opportunity in this month, you understand the greatness of this month, and you're excited, most likely you will perform in Ramadan and you'll take advantage of it. The heart needs to be alive and active and awakened before it starts. According to what attitude you have now is what you will be ending up doing in Ramadan. The heart is not looking forward, nothing will be done. The heart is excited, something will be done. And you can only get the heart excited by exposing your ears and your heart to the words of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and understanding what is required from you and I. And then the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَتُغَلُّ فِيهِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. And the devils are chained in this month. Allahu Akbar. The biggest distraction in life, Allah removes it. So you don't have an excuse to say, Wallahi, shaitan was all over me, and as a result I couldn't do anything. The biggest distraction, Allah gets rid of it. And the devils are two types. There is an internal devil, which is al-qareen, and there's an external devil. These are the devils that roam around. So which of the two are chained and locked away? Ulama rahimahumullah, they explain to us and they say the external devils that roam around, they're the ones that are chained. Sulsilat al-shayatin, maradat al-shayatin, they are chained. As for the internal devil, al-qareen, that's inside of each and every single one of us, and he flows just like blood flows in the veins and arteries, then he remains with you. He is not chained, but his negative effect upon you is dramatically reduced. So he's a lot more controlled, and that is because you're fasting. And the idea is when a person is fasting, and the first hour goes by, and then 2 hours, and then 5 hours, 6 hours. When a person is hungry, all he thinks of is food. So he thinks of something halal. And you don't think of something haram when you are starving. So as a result, a shaitan, his evil waswasah, is dramatically reduced because your mind is somewhere else. It's in something halal, and that's fine. You see, when does a person start to think of desires and sin and haram? When he fills his stomach, when he's eaten and he's no longer starving. That desire has finished. Now his mind begins to play and take him to things where he shouldn't be. But in Ramadan, all of that is reduced because you have a day activity that is the fasting. You have a night activity that is as-salat, wal-taraweeh, wal-qiyam, listening to Al-Quran, wal-du'a, wal-dhikr. And then a few hours later you have a suhoor and then you're preparing. There's no room for the shaitan inside to become big and to have that negative effect on you. By the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, He removed the biggest distraction. And so for you and I, we should take from this part of the hadith, what are your worldly distractions? Remove them also. One of the greatest distractions of people today is this phone that they have and the social media that is on it. How are you going to spend the days and the nights of Ramadan? People, the vast majority of mankind today that own a phone and have social media, spend their days and night in scrolling from reel to reel on whatever social media app it is. وَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, a huge calamity and a disaster. Studies mention that people are scrolling about 60 meters a day. And everything you scroll, if you put it all, laid it out, it's about 60 meters. What's that? From about here to a bit more than the end of the masjid? Did a person walk that for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal? Did you do that 60-meter walk to the house of Allah Azza wa Jal for as-salat or not? This is a distraction. You don't benefit anything from it. You expose your mind to over 50 topics in less than 5 minutes. You absolutely take nothing. Zero. And between all of that, al-haram that you see, this is not the life and the attitude of a believer. This is called careless scrolling. Up and down, benefiting nothing. An ayah comes by, barely listen to it. A reminder, barely listen to it unless it looks attractive and it has the colors in the video. And it has a few singing noise in the background. Maybe it captures your attention. What has happened? What has happened with mankind? The believer is above all this stuff. And so don't you dare allow this to bite and to consume your days and your precious moments of Ramadan. Allah removed the biggest distraction. And then the greatest worldly distraction, the phone and the reels are still active in your hand. You benefited nothing. What did you take from this part of the hadith? So it's worth it that you cut every distraction in life. And above the list is that phone. And only have it in your hand if you already know there is something beneficial that will be aired on it and posted on it. You enter, you take the benefit and you leave. No time for careless scrolling. No time. The days are going. The minutes are moving. The seconds are moving. The first 10 days go so quick. How many times we look at each other, Allah Akbar, first 10 days are already gone. And then before you know it, it's the last 10 nights. You don't even feel the last 10 nights. People are already talking about Laylatul Qadr, the 27th. And before you can even think of anything, we're standing praying Salat al-Eid. Ramadan, gone. And even Allah, when He spoke about Ramadan in the Quran, you know what He said? He said, أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ. He said Ramadan is a few days. There is Shahru Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. But when Allah counted its days, He said, Ayyam ma'dudat, just a few days. You know, this has a psychological impact on the human. Instead of saying one whole month, He said a few days. A few days, it creates the sense of urgency and panic in your heart. This is just a few days. A few days and it's all over. A few days and the sale is gone. A few days and this bargain, this deal, this one in a lifetime or one in a year opportunity is going to end. Yeah, ma'dudat. And so the idea is hurry up and make the most you can during this month. It's like you say to someone, there's a farm. Enter the farm, you have 1 hour maximum. And go and pick whatever fruit you want from there. Take everything you get your hands on. And then walk out. How would this person's attitude be inside of that farm? When he knows that he has only 1 hour. Really, would he take it out his phone and look at messages and scroll from reel to reel and waste a bit of time? I got 1 hour. You'll be in there non-stop, picking whatever you can. Put it in bags, hurry up. There's 40 minutes left, half an hour left, 10 minutes left, quick. Just the attitude. But Ramadan is more than entering a farm and picking fruits. Ramadan, you're entering and you're harvesting al-hasanat, the good deeds. These are the heaviest weighing deeds you'll see on the Day of Judgment. So the believer needs to be aware of this matter. Allah removed the biggest distraction. So don't be distracted by things that are smaller than that. Be careful. Be careful from the very beginning. And teach this to others, especially to your family as well. Make sure phone time is limited in the house. Televisions are probably off and shut down altogether. There's no need. And any distraction, get rid of it. And focus. Subhanallah. Then the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فِيهِ لَيْلَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. He said to the companions, there is a night, somewhere in this month. It is better than 1,000 months of worship. Laylatun. He didn't tell us when. And that's from the mercy of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he didn't tell us when. Imagine he told us when. There is absolutely no doubt that 90% of the ummah would hibernate in their homes and only come out Laylat al-Qadr. So out of mercy, he did not tell us when, even though it was known and then that knowledge was removed. Imagine how much of a fitna would it have been if we knew when Laylat al-Qadr was? Imagine. Can you imagine the state of people? If we certainly knew that Laylat al-Qadr was the 27th, or most likely it could be 27th, but no one can ever tell you guaranteed it's the 27th of every year. We don't know. Can you imagine what would have happened if we certainly knew when? It would have caused a big fitna. People would have avoided extra effort and then put the most in that one night. And that's someone that did not benefit from Ramadan. So it's hidden, it's somewhere there. So that each and every single night of the last 10, you put the same effort equally in all of those nights. As a result, you will win the reward of Laylat al-Qadr and you will win the entire month because your efforts on that night weren't different to the other efforts of the last 10 nights. So you've won Laylat al-Qadr and you've won the last 10 nights as well. Because the last 10 nights are also part of Ramadan. They're also Ramadan. They're also an opportunity. Now, then the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam warned us about something. He said, "Man hurima khayraha faqad hurim." Anyone who's deprived of the goodness of that night, then he is deprived in the sight of Allah. This person's a loser. So you see, the hadith, it began with a lot of excitement, a lot of joy, a lot of good news. There was a lot of encouragement at the beginning of the hadith. A blessed month, doors of the paradise are open, doors of the hell are shut, the shaitan is locked up, and so much goodness. And at the end, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam concludes it with a warning. So as much as we are excited, we're not fooled and deceived. We know that there are people that will enter this month, and at the end of this month, they are losers in the sight of Allah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal not to give us this ending. But the reality is that is happening. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is saying this at his time, can you imagine how much more we're in need of warning one another? Of warning one another not to take advantage like that and to take it for granted. Man hurima khayraha faqad hurim. Imagine at the end of the month, you're labeled as someone who is a loser and deprived. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. This is why the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, may the one who enters Ramadan and comes out of Ramadan and Allah hasn't forgiven him, may he be disgraced and humiliated. Allah made this dua because He taught it to Jibreel. Jibreel said to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam to make it when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said Ameen. Allah, Jibreel and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, all of them said Ameen to this dua. That's a big danger. Why? Because there are many opportunities to be forgiven in this month. The fasting, if you did nothing but fast the month, you'll be forgiven. If you did nothing, alongside your fasting, you prayed the nights, that's another opportunity of forgiveness. If you took advantage of Laylatul Qadr, that's another opportunity of forgiveness. If you did Ramadan, opportunity of forgiveness. If you made dua, opportunity of forgiveness. If you fed the poor, opportunity of forgiveness. If you made dhikr, opportunity for forgiveness. If you read Quran, opportunity for forgiveness. So the one who leaves Ramadan and Allah hasn't forgiven him, and then he was disgraced, what did this guy do? You had more than 1 million opportunities. Every single day, Allah frees mankind from the hellfire twice a day. Yani that's 60 opportunities. You missed all of that. You weren't forgiven because you're fasting, because you're salat, because of Laylatul Qadr, no Umrah. What did you do? How bad could this person be when he had 1 million doors of forgiveness and he took advantage of nothing? This is why he was disgraced and humiliated at the end. So we need to be very careful that we treat this month in the manner Allah wants us to treat it, with full seriousness.